to solve this by completing the square, remember the coefficient of the squared variable needs to be 1 or an understood 1. So let's begin by dividing through. We'll be dividing every term by the coefficient of x squared, which is 3. Then I'll have x squared plus 4x minus 4/3 is equal to 0. Now let's complete the square. So I'll add 4/3 to both sides, and I'll have x squared plus 4x, let's leave a space, is equal to positive 4/3. Now let's complete the square on these two terms. Half of 4 is 2, and then square that result. 2 squared just happens to be 4. If I add 4 to this side, I must add 4 to the other side of the equation so that it remains equivalent. Now this is a perfect square trinomial. If you factor, it factors as x plus 2 times x plus 2, or x plus 2 quantity squared. And what does that equal? It equals 4/3 plus, how many thirds is 4? 4 over 1, 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm just trying to get a common denominator here so that I can add those two fractions. But let's continue. Here I'll have x plus 2 quantity squared is equal to, this is 16 over 3. The point being we're ready to use the square root property. So x plus 2 itself is equal to plus or minus the square root of 16 over 3. And now we'll finish solving, and at the same time we'll clean this up. To finish solving, I'll subtract 2 from both sides, so x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus, the square root of 16 is 4, and then I have the square root of 3 in the denominator, but let's rationalize, so I'll multiply the numerator by the square root of 3 and the denominator by the square root of 3. So x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus, that's 4 square root of 3 over 3. And let's go ahead and combine these two terms by getting a common denominator of 3. I'll write negative 2 as negative 6 over 3, and then plus or minus 4 square root of 3 over 3. And now I can combine those two terms, and I can write it as negative 6 plus or minus 4 square root of 3 all over 3. There are two solutions there, negative 6 plus 4 square root of 3 all over 3, and negative 6 minus 4 square root of 3 all over 3. You can factor a common factor of 2 out here, but it will not help us simplify any, so I'll leave it like that.